Now let us look at the next lesson, lesson number 6, called blood relations in test of reasoning. Nowadays we are getting a lot of questions under blood relations, and under data analysis, that's the new development that is happening. Normally about 2 or 3 questions will come in blood relations, and it is very important we master it, because it is the additional questions marks you are going to get that is going to improve your chances of getting a job. These additional 5 or 10 questions and 5 or 10 marks that you get, that is going to decide your fate. Every single mark is important in the competitive examination. So from that angle, blood relations is a very important topic. Now coming to blood relations. In India, India is a country of relations. We have huge number of relatives and relations living together under the same house. We have father-in-law, mother-in-law, grandfather, great-grandfather, all living under one roof. But here, to pass, get marks, score marks in the exam, we should know the relationship as in English. It is not sufficient if we know our relationship like in our own native language. We have a lot of relationships in our native language. Knowledge of that is not sufficient. We should understand the relationship as it is termed in English. Therefore, we should understand a few terms of relations as in English. First is uncle. Uncle is mother or father's brother. In India, we have a different term for father's brother and mother's brother. But in English, we have only one term, uncle, who is the same for mother or father's brother. Similarly, aunt is mother or father's sister. Nephew is brother or sister's son. Nephew is a male relationship. If you introduce somebody as a nephew, he must be a male. Then niece. Niece is brother or sister's daughter. Niece is a female relationship. Similarly, if you introduce, this is Mala, my niece, she has to necessarily be a female. You cannot introduce, this is Arjun, my niece, because niece is a female relationship. Then cousin. Cousin is a neuter gender. So you can introduce both a man as well as a woman as a cousin. Who is a cousin? Cousin is uncle or aunt's son or daughter. Son or daughter. So cousin can be a man or a woman. You be careful and understand this. Cousin can be a man or a woman. Then great grandson or daughter is the son or daughter of the grandson. So we all know great grandson. Then in the problems, sometimes we get some tricky relationship. My grandmother or grandfather's only son. Who is my grandmother or grandfather's only son? It has to be your father. My grandfather or grandmother's son. When the word only is not there, it can be either father or uncle. My grandmother or grandfather's only daughter-in-law. It has to be your mother. So these are all some tricky relationship which we will be seeing it more elaborately when we are solving the problems. Now the next important point you should know is, you should not jump to the conclusion regarding the gender of a person by merely looking at the name of a person. Ram means man. Krishna means, now in some parts Krishna is a man, some parts Krishna is a lady. Therefore don't jump to conclusion based on the name, because in India is a diverse country. In Maheshwari, for example, Maheshwari is a woman in South India, and Maheshwari is a man in some parts of North India. Therefore, don't jump to conclusion merely looking at the name of a person. Look for internal evidence. Suppose they say Krishna is the brother of Sushila, then you know Krishna is a man. So like that, always look for internal evidence without jumping to conclusions. Under blood relations, there are 3 types of questions are possible. We are going to see all the 3 types. One is family tree. The questions can be solved by drawing a family tree. Then the second type is paraphrase. The only son of my grandfather's only son, that kind of tongue twisters. These questions can be solved by paraphrasing. Therefore, I would like to call it as paraphrase questions. The third question is coded relationship. $B means A is the father of B. A ampersand B means A is the mother of B. Like that. These kind of questions which code the relationship, and then based on the code some questions are asked. They are called coded relations. So under blood relations, three types of questions are possible: family tree, paraphrasing, and coded relationship. Each require a different technique to solve. We will be seeing each one of them individually. The objective of this presentation is, at the end of this session, you will be able to solve problems based on family tree, paraphrasing, and coded relationship. Now, we will solve the first type of problem, namely family tree. For drawing a family tree, it is important you should know how to draw. Now let us see the working of how to draw a family tree. Rahul is the son of Kumar. Rahul is the son of Kumar. Why I have drawn Kumar above? Kumar is the father or mother, we do not know. Rahul is the son. They belong to one generation and R belongs to another generation. Therefore, this has to be maintained. Sita is sister of Kumar. Sita is sister of Kumar. Sita is sister of Kumar. I have drawn parallel because S and K, they belong to the same generation. Mala is sister of Rahul. Mala is sister of Rahul. I have drawn here because Rahul and Mala, they belong to the same generation. Priya is the wife of Kumar. Priya is the wife of Kumar. Drawn here because they belong to the same generation. Normally, we use these curly brackets to denote husband and wife relationship wherever there is in the picture there is husband and wife. Then Pramod is the father of Kumar. Pramod is the father of Kumar. Now we know very clearly by this family tree which we have drawn, which we have diagrammatically represented, that Pramod is the grandfather. The next generation is Kumar, Sita and Priya. The third generation is Rahul and Mala. This kind of clear distinction based on generations will help you to draw conclusions based on relations. Now suppose there is a question, how Pramod will be called by Mala? How Pramod will be called by Mala? Or how Pramod is related to Mala? How the question finally they may ask is, how Pramod is related to Mala? Obviously, Pramod is the grandfather. Now the question is, how Pramod is related to Mala? That means you should draw an arrow. The arrowhead showing Pramod. How Pramod is related to Mala means how Pramod will be called by Mala. How Pramod will be called by Mala is equal to grandfather. Whenever we are asking, this is very important. People will draw the family tree very nicely, but they will make a mistake while drawing the arrow. If the question says how Pramod is related to Mala, you should rephrase it as how Pramod will be called by Mala, and draw the arrow from Mala to Pramod, the arrowhead showing Pramod. How Pramod will be called by Mala? Answer is grandfather. So please draw the family tree diagram correctly with the representation of the generation, and then draw the arrow correctly, then you will get correct answer. There will be no mistakes in the answers. With this brief intro, let us jump into the questions.